Hi, this is Melanie at Pardesi Reviews, and I'm here to do a review of the dual language film, the Tamil Telugu film Prince, starring Sivakarthikeyan. If you're new to Pardesi Reviews, I do trailer reactions and film reviews of Indian cinema. So Prince is really a star vehicle for Sivakarthikeyan. I'm not sure that I have seen him, at least in a leading role in a film before. This is a first for me. And it's definitely a star vehicle for him. It is a comedy. It's a romantic comedy. Sathyaraj plays his father, and I have to admit, I enjoy basically any time that Sathyaraj was on screen was gold for me. I love him so much. He's playing a communist. So we see at the beginning of the film, he's trying to moderate a dispute between people in the village over a caste issue, over a marriage between a boy and girl from different castes. And he's saying, he cuts people's palm and says, look, everyone's blood is red. But the problem is when his son, Anba, falls for a girl from Britain, like an English girl, all bets are off. This film has some wonderful supporting characters. Premji plays a villainous kind of fraudster kind of a character. There's a cameo by Sree, which was really fun in the second half of the film. The songs are by Thaman S, who is one of my favorite composers especially for Telugu films. There's several songs, and I have to give kudos to Maria. I'm going to murder her name. Ryaboshapka plays Jessica, the young English girl. She gamely dances and pretty well in several numbers, but my favorite number is a solo number by Sivakarthikeyan after they've had some conflict and friction in their relationship, and he does a solo dance number called Who Am I? Now, Rakes did the subtitles, and so in the song, he says Who Am I in several different languages. Hindi, Telugu, Tamil, Malayalam, and she labels all of those so that someone like me who wouldn't immediately hear that and be in on that. So I love that. That song was my favorite. But there's several good songs. I have to admit, the comedy, Rakes is my favorite subtitlist, and she does English idioms and turns of phrase, which helps me into the comedy. But some of this comedy just kind of went over my head. The parts that I laughed loudest at there were several jokes about subtitles. For instance, Anba plays a teacher. He asks a kid, where did you learn this English word? And he's like, well, I learned it from this Korean movie I saw online. Okay, I was dying, because if you don't know, I also have a podcast about Korean dramas, so that was hilarious. And then later in the film, there's a joke about one man in the village is complaining that his daughter not only wants to marry out of her caste, but she wants to marry a Korean guy because she's fallen in love with Korean dramas and BTS. Huge fan of BTS here, so I was just dying laughing. Praveen KL, who I happened to be able to interview, was the editor of this film. It's about 2 hours and 20 minutes. The things that were kind of cringy for me, though, so this Jessica character is supposed to be from England. Her grandmother has lived in India for 50 years and loves it. And there was this flashback where the grandmother is telling the story of how they came to India and as a young girl in World War II, and the scenes that they're showing in Great Britain during World War II, cringe, okay? And then there's one scene where Anba is trying to convince his father, Sathyaraj, that he's going to marry Jessica, and Sathyaraj is all for it until he learns that she's from England, where the country that killed his grandfather, a blessed name. Well, Jessica is trying to convince him how not everyone from England is horrible. And she says, we gave you hospitals, we gave you education, we gave you freedom. Oh, my God. Oh, God. Like, it was horrible. Like, are we supposed to be sympathetic to Jessica, or is she also supposed to be someone who is blind to her own privilege and the things that are coming out of her mouth? Because it was just horrible that she said that to them. Oh my God. And meanwhile, Emma is just smiling like, oh, this is all great. I'm like, this is not all great. Oh, this is horrible. All right. So I didn't laugh as much as I think an Indian local audience would, because I think some of the humor was situational that just was over my head. I wasn't getting all of it. But it's an enjoyable holiday movie, definitely for the whole family could enjoy this film. And it does have a good message, I suppose. Everyone's blood is red. It doesn't matter who you are. We're all the same. This is a film by the director Anudeep. And I think he's done mostly Telugu films. I don't think I have seen his other films. It's definitely a star vehicle for Sivakarthikeyan. All right, if you haven't seen this film, let me know what you thought in the comments below. Follow me on Twitter at PardesiYT. Follow me on Instagram at Pardesi Reviews. And if you hit the bell here when you subscribe, you'll never miss another trailer reaction or film review.